Let's briefly talk about Swamp Thing a little bit. I got to hear Yannick Paquette talk about it a little bit. One of the most interesting things he said from an artistic perspective is that Swamp Thing, every time he draws him, is entirely different. Do you find that from a writing perspective as well, or is it more consistent in terms of the character?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to give too much away, because our book really is about Alec Holland as a human. It's about Alec being spit up by the swamp and coming back and crawling out of there with all the memories of Swamp Thing. So everything in Swamp Thing stands, all of the history, from Vertigo to now through Brightest Day, everything happened. And he remembers it, but he doesn't know why he was brought back, and all he wants to do is forget the green and move on. And the idea is that what if his destiny is somehow tied to Swamp Thing in ways he doesn't know, that has to do with his history as a character? Because one of the things that's most intriguing to me about Swamp Thing was always that Alec Holland really appears on just a few pages of comics ever as a human. So who was he? Why him? Is there a reason? Is there a secret history to his family? Is there a history to the Arcane family that ties into an opposing power? You know, is there a mythology there that builds on what's there as Swamp Thing, the Moore run, but ties back into the humanity of Alec? So in that way, the way I write Alec is very consistent as a human, but the Swamp Things you will see, and you'll see a lot of Swamp Thing, are very colorful and very tied into the history of the character and the different Swamp Things that you've seen over the generations from the Parliament of Trees. So we wanted to show Swamp Thing as a warrior through the ages, not just Swamp Thing as the replica of Alec Holland as he appears in the Moore run.
Now, I know you mentioned the... Oh, yeah?
Show it off. Yeah.
Please do.
Spoilers. I just got it yesterday. Look at this. That's page 1. It's nice, right?
Ah, Superman.
Yeah, it's Clark, and he's in the Daily Planet, and he hears something, and he looks out the window, and the narration is all about how Alec is talking about how he used to be his father was a florist, and how he used to work this machine, this big blade that would come down and cut all the flowers and the stems. And then you turn the page, and what they're looking at is this huge natural apocalypse where the birds in Metropolis are dying, and the bats in the Batcave have died, and the fish in the ocean, and they're all talking to each other. And then you see Alec Holland, see? That's Alec. And this little vein is bothering you, see? This little root. Anyway, that's a spoiler preview. But yeah, we're very, very excited about it. I mean, Swamp Thing and Batman are my two favorite characters in the DCU, hands down. I don't know like who I killed and sold their soul to the devil in like a past life to get this gig, but you know, I'm very excited to hear what fans think, and I'm extremely grateful to get to do it. So please let me know what you guys think out there.
Now, very briefly before we let you go, I don't know how much you can say about this, but with you dealing with the green in Swamp Thing, Jeff Lemire has talked about how he's dealing with the red over in Animal Man. You guys are friends. Are we going to see any crossover going on there?
We're more than friends. We have like a raging bromance going on. What's up, Jeff? Anyway, we absolutely are. Jeff and I have traded scripts since we've been at DC together. So he's read every Batman, every Detective, and I've read every Superboy, And with this, one of the fun things from the beginning was to design a crossover and to design a shared mythology. So there are going to be things that cross over immediately from the red and the green and this new enemy we're introducing, and then there's going to be stuff in the second run that really, really crosses over in a big way. So we have big plans for a shared storyline in that department, with a lot of the DCU Dark, actually.